Third World Cinema Club. Spoiler alert.
So, hi guys, welcome to yet another edition of, but special, by the way, edition of Third World Cinema Club.
Dapat sabay-sabay, di ba?
Yay! Wag na, wala tayong coordination. O sige. I'm John Tawasil from Present Confusion.
I'm DJ Ramones from riversdelay.net.
I'm Jim from jplarapan@blogspot.com.
I'm Paul from Kung Sine-Sine Lang.
And Tristan from Raptor.
And our very special guest for today is multi-talented
Yes.
actress of independent films. Please introduce yourself.
Heyo, foes. Oh, hi.
Oh, yan. Elora España is with us today. And we're going to...
Yay!
Yay! Thank you. And we're gonna talk about the recently concluded Pista ng Pelikulang Pilipino. Actually, still ongoing in some select cinemas, but for last week, as of this recording, it showed 8 feature films in all of the cinemas in the Philippines. So let's start with an overview of the festival. Let's go one by one. How did you think the festival went? Let's start with you, DJ.
Bakit ako?
Pressure yun.
So, for me, nagbago kasi yung format ng festival. No? Last year, there were 12. Tama? 12. Ang dami.
12, yeah.
12 films na they were not original releases, unlike this year. So, for me, mas maraming variety last year na medyo nabawasan this year. Although, nag-compensate sila with the special features section. Ano ba? Opinion agad?
Go.
So, we can butt in or for the opinions. So, we could discuss it more in depth. Kasi alam natin, this is a bit of, ano ba to? Controversial festival. Yeah.
Well, overall impression, yung first, napanood ko sa lahat ng main entries, actually pati yung special features. Yung first 6 features na napanood ko sa main competition, patawag nila din. Parang, ang impression ko sobrang similar ng quality niya. Parang, I would be hard-pressed to rank them na kung ano man yung maganda or... Pero nung last day, nung napanood ko yung last 2, parang biglang may isang outstanding, tapos biglang may isang confusing na film. So parang may ganun. So majority of the films, similar quality na I would say parang mainstream yung atake, yung format or sensibilities nila.
I think they've gone on record naman to actually say na this film, they wanna make it more attractive to the mainstream, more accessible to the mainstream audience, diba? That's why they... am I correct ba in saying na hindi binigyan ng clear reason why there's a new format this year?
Yeah, nag-meeting sila before. I think
They did not address it, diba?
they didn't address it directly. Yeah.
It's more of saying they want new films, they want...
And also, may... Elora, may gusto kang i-contribute.
Hindi, parang ang main point ng FDCP, sabi nila na parang the cinemas daw kasi, the theaters want new films kasi yung mga dating lumabas na nga sa festivals hindi naman din masyadong tinao, so they really want films that would really appeal to the bigger audience. So dun yung medyo na-jar din yung ibang filmmakers na akala ko ba this festival is really for the filmmakers and not for the theaters, so yun yung naging issue na malaki.
And it's kind of counterintuitive kasi diba last year the second highest grossing was Patay na Jesus.
Patay na Jesus, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a film that appeared
in
a previous festival. So, like, there's a disconnect. Personally, I don't wanna, like, they have to put, like, alleged lagi for everything I say. So, that's just my personal opinion and I don't wanna make hasty conclusions naman.
Parang in making the films, premiere only. Parang ginaya niya yung World Premieres Film Fest ng FDCP din. So, kahit na yung WPFF, medyo wonky yung quality din ng films na may magaganda, mayroong hindi ganun kaganda. So, ayun, alam mo yun, hindi, parang bagong sala lang siya. Ano, yung mga pelikulang yun.
Well, pero doon naman din galing yung films like yung kay Nestor Abraham.
Yeah,
Yung Kwento Nating
yung
Dalawa.
kwento natin dalawa.
Saka one from some Bicol director.
Anong pelikula yun?
The one with Mara Lopez. Yeah, doon galing yun.
Sige, kaya niya.
Alvin Yapan ba?
Alvin Yapan.
Alvin Yapan.
So, yun. Hindi naman lahat eh. So, it doesn't necessarily mean na whether luma or bago yung lalabas dun sa PPP affects the quality of the rest of the film. So,
Yeah.
ito lang sana yung chance kasi ng ibang films na to gain something from the commercial release.
Jim, any comments?
Hindi naman sa nagko-compare, pero sa na-observe ko, mas maganda nga yung selection last year kasi nabigyan ng chance yung mga films na pinalabas lang during the film festival na yung other people, hindi sila aware of these films.
Okay.
Yun.
Yun din. And also, yung 5 na special screening films, these are the films that came from... 6 pala. These are the films that came from previous festivals, diba? And number 1, they were given a limited amount of theaters na binawasan din after a few days. And 2 of those films, kahit na they were critically acclaimed, award-winning, they were not given a rating by the Cinema Evaluation Board. Which does not give them any rebates for amusement tax, which is for per tickets about 20 pesos din, malaki-laki din siya.
Alam mo yung parang since we're going to this topic, we're dealing na with the idea of the political economy of Philippine cinema na at times I think this film enabled pa na magkaroon ng surplus of films while the distribution it's not that ironed out. So you have more films, tas parang the other films pala hindi naman pala ipo-pull out naman after a certain number of
That's
days.
true.
So I think in general that's what our industry needs to fix.
Yes.
How do you reconcile the number of filmmakers come up with new films, the number of filmmakers popping up at the same time yung distribution natin hindi maayos-ayos kasi what will happen, we will have a bubble and it will not be able to support the industry.
Yeah, in addition, ang laki ng competition natin with foreign films. Kasi pati yung mga main entries. Parang Sunday pa lang, Saturday pa lang, may nakikita ka ng foreign films na kasabay. Even though I think yung mandate nung festival na to dapat buong linggo, di ba?
Parang overall, less enforced yung requirement na exclusively PPP entries lang yung mapalabas. Parang, if I recall correctly, last year mas...
Yeah, as in stricto talaga. As in buong linggo, wala silang pinasok.
Medyo naging lax sila sa...
Parang nung akala ko nga nung una, parang may exceptions yung mga IMAX, mga Dolby, pero...
Ganun, nung first 2 or 3 days siguro.
Yeah. Pero after nun, parang kahit na normal cinemas, meron na rin eh. Yung mga hindi masyado mabentang entries, tinatanggal.
Malay mo they're making an exception para sa The Meg kasi it's The Meg. So, high art, so...
Yeah. The pinnacle of short movies.
Well, ako naman kasi, tinanggal nila 2 weeks later yung Buy Bus. Then,
Yeah.
I heard or I read na binalik siya due
Yes.
to insistent public demand.
That's
So, pwede naman nilang gawin yun for a Tom Cruise film or Jason Statham na
Yeah.
pwede naman siya ibalik. So,
Parang some films have meron silang time to to percolate, parang kagaya ng nung 2015 yung General Luna, first week hindi naman siya ganun kumita, tas it's only after word of mouth spread na doon lang siya talaga kumita ng marami pera. So in this festival parang yung ibang films hindi siya binigyan ng chance even though there was very strong word of mouth for some films.
Saka in the first place, nag-hold back na sila eh. Kasi yung week before PPP, wala daw nag-release ng big films dahil nag-anticipate sila na makakat yung
cinema run nila
after 1 week. So,
Except for The Meg.
except for the Meg.
Yeah. Filipinos demand to see The Meg. Kaya
They want sharks, man. Sharks every day.
the best summer movie out this year.
So, any more thoughts overall about, the PPP? What can we do in this situation? Parang other than, I guess, developing our audiences to appreciate Filipino films a bit more.
If we're gonna talk about what we can do, ubusin natin yung...
Feel ko nga, it's a whole different episode.
Yeah.
And in episode 5,
Kasi it's an intricate web of different problems. Like you have to fix the cinemas itself. Kasi they have to, yung mga distributors sila, they have quotas na if you can't release this number of films or if you don't release this film, hindi namin ipapalabas sa sinehan nyo yung gato. So maraming cross-cutting lines.
Yeah, it's like parang siyang ecosystem na filmmakers, then theater operators, distributors, etc. Talagang kailangan magkasundo silang lahat to effect change.
Ang easiest for me, wala tong scientific basis. for me, baka
We need studies.
the easiest solution right now, it's really the proliferation of micro cinemas.
That's true. Yeah.
Kasi that's how you could earn
More
and you
venues.
could create other distribution channels. Pero the long-term solution here, I think it's may malaking role ng government.
We need government support.
Yeah, you have to put quotas on sa cinemas to release this number of films. You have to have dedicated studios or dedicated theaters.
Yeah.
You have to incentivize filmmakers pa. Ang dami.
And yung problem din dyan, gusto ko din actually magkaroon ng system na parang sa Korea, South Korea, na yung may screen quotas tayo, meron tayong protections for our local films.
North and South Philippines.
Pero North and South Philippines. pero yung na-anticipate kong problem with that is yung mga parang free trade agreements we have, especially with the US. Kasi some of the provisions of those free trade agreements involve film nila, cultural exports like Hollywood films. So hindi ko alam how that will factor in to how we will establish a system
naman,
like
pala,
Korea.
in my opinion, kasi di ba second year pa lang to, di ba, right, ng pista ng pelikulang Pilipino. So, parang nandun yung nagsiset pa sila ng foundation or standard kung talagang ito ba ay tatagal. I'm not sure, my opinion lang. Kasi di ba, hindi naman lahat talaga ng film festival is alam talaga ng tao. So,
That's true.
Yun.
Marketing wise, parang do you feel na parang na-market effectively yung festival na to the audiences natin?
May anecdote lang ako. Parang nung last day ng PPP, di ba Ninoy Aquino Day yun?
Yeah.
So habang nakapila ako, may dumadaan, tapos tumingin sila dun sa schedule. Sabi nila, ay, sino malayo pa pala ngayon? So at that very basic level, kung ano ba yung nangyayari ngayon na festival?
Yun nga parang despite the fact kung saan-saan dito nakakita ko ng mga posters, mga promoting PPP, pero parang hindi rin siya napipick up ng tao. I don't know why.
I think the problem is that tayo even in this group, baka we're an echo chamber. Na we don't know ano perception of the outside of audiences na sabi nga ni DJ, akala ng tao sinamalaya. So gets how do people nga distinguish these numerous festivals in the Philippines?
That's true.
And
Dami-dami na natin.
does it actually make an effect, or are we just really creating a surplus without building the demand?
That's true. So in parang yung effect nun, marami tayong pelikula, wala naman
Nung Cinemalaya Awards night nga, naalala ko yung isang speaker, parang sinasabi niya yung overview ng Cinemalaya. Parang sabi niya na merong other 6 festivals, tapos parang nahirapan din siyang i-enumerate yun. So, someone niya na nasa Cinemalaya, so very aware siya. So, totoo yung sabi ni Tristan na. So, echo chamber talaga. Tayo, parang social media natin, parang all about films. Pero, for the average Filipino, ano ba yung nakikita niya sa feeds nila, di ba?
May pera lang natin ang ubos.
Tayong pera lang din So yun guys, any other thoughts about PPP as a whole before we move on to the main films?
Hindi siya significant, pero may na-realize na ako nung titingnan ko yung 6 films sa special feature na lahat pala ng films doon, they all come from a different film festival. Na-realize ko. Sinadya ba yun? Or
Mukhang it's
maybe.
The best of the 6 festivals.
Oh, interesting. Hindi ko na-realize yun at first.
Pero may hindi na-represent doon. Ano ba? Hindi ko maisip
50.
ngayon. MMFF, yeah.
MMFF.
Baka respeto yung naisip mo.
Hindi.
Desimula
Kasi
yan.
6 eh. Pero ilan ba ang festival? 7 or 8? At least sa Manila.
Marami mga minor film fest, mga activista.
Desi nagkasama eh. Tupug Ematoy is one.
Yeah.
Sine Filipino.
Yeah, meron.
To
Hypothalamus.
Farm.
To Farm.
To farm yung
Q Cinema, meron.
Cinema 1. Paki.
Paki.
So, MMFF.
MMFF yung wala. Na okay lang. Ganda rapido, back in cinemas, ganun.
Pwede kalaban ng Dameg yun.
Pwede, no? Ganda rapido versus Damig.
Crossover. Potential.
Graded B by the CEB, Ganda Rap. Hindi, graded E yata ang Ganda
Kailangan
Rapido.
pala, no?
Basta may grade siya.
Views and opinions.
B, rated B by the CEB. Oh, B as in Vice Ganda. Vice Ganda. Charot.
So let's move into the films.
Okay, first film. What's the first film, Tristan?
Pinay Beauty. You wanna do Pinay Beauty?
Sige, Pinay Beauty first.
Has everyone seen it?
No.
No.
Okay, who's seen Pinay Beauty other than me?
Yeah.
Nakita mo na, Elora? yung Pinay Beauty?
Tayong dalawa.
Okay.
Tayong
Talang dalawa, and si Elora. And si DJ.
Huwag na ako.
Eh, sama ka na.
Ay, kaibigan ko sila, Chay.
Bakit? Hindi mo ba nagustuhan? Charot lang. So, yan, Pinay Beauty is about this woman, siya yung na-share, Annie, what's his name? She wants to be the Disneyland version of Snow White. And to help her, have a makeover, her boyfriend, played by Edgar Allan de Guzman, he loans a huge amount of money, 180,000 pesos.
From Tito Val.
From Tito Val. And he gets into trouble because of that loan. He has to pay it back. He can pay back the money in full, or he can arrange a date with Tito Val and Lovely G, a very popular actress who is the daughter of
The King.
the king. So, guys, what did you think of Pinay Beauty? DJ. first, unang sabak, of course.
Well, unfortunately, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na confusing. Nung napanood ko sa last day ng PPP. Expectations coming in, hindi kasi ako nanonood ng trailer na pag nanonood ng festival. So, alam ko lang yung plot, yung premise, synopsis. So, in-expect ko na maraming stuff about yung theme niya na Pinay Beauty, parang di-discuss na Morena is better than or at least as good as other skin colors, ganun. Pero nawawala dun sa pelikula, di ba? Di ba?
Medyo
parang
nawawala siya.
hindi siya masyadong diniscuss dun
sa film. At first I thought na parang appropriate na si Chai yung gawin nilang sa Pinay Beauty because she's very much a proponent of loving yung sarili nating kulay, kumbaga, na white is not necessarily the only
pa rin mga ulol.
ganun. So parang medyo ako with this movie. I was very excited to see this movie. Unfortunately nga, parang hindi ko nakita kung saan siya papunta in most places. It diverges into two plots, di ba? Yung plot ni Edgar Allan Guzman tsaka yung plot ni Chai. And even though si Chai yung pinaka parang main dapat na center nung pelikula dapat, yung search niya parang naging peripheral na lang siya to what's going on.
Actually, yun ang biggest comment ko. It's like, si Chai, siya lang inciting incident.
Yes.
Pero her role itself ay hindi ganong integrated
into the plot.
Into the plot.
Parang dumus ex machina lang siya nung huli.
Yeah. And at the same time, it's like naging conventional caper na lang siya na it's about earning, na medyo for me naging convoluted, hindi mo convoluted, pero it's like naging ludicrous na siya towards the end.
Yung point na nagbentahan. Bizarre. Nagbentahan na sila ng katawan. Ganun. Parang, sige. Natuwa naman si Janus Del Prado. Nagbenta.
Yeah, so, for me, I think, siya, tonally uneven.
Yes, that's true.
That's a way to describe it.
Yun ding parang lack of focus sa character ni Chai. Parang din. parang hindi naman siya pero nagmukhang parang masyado siyang obsessed with her na hindi niya napapansin yung nangyayari kay Larry.
It's like a parable without the moral...
Without the moral lesson.
Towards
So,
the
yeah.
end. Hindi na-drive. Yeah.
Na-drive through. Although, I appreciate naman the fact that it tries to make this statement about, aesthetics, ganun. Pero,
Yeah.
yun.
Saka funny naman siya, si Nico Antonio.
Oh, nakakatawa. Super macho,
Sobrang bros ko na
na lalaki.
toxic masculinity. Yung favorite word natin.
Toxic masculinity. The character, ganun.
Pero tapos confusing lang din yung casting ni Maxine kasi 'di ba parang
Yeah.
si Lovie po dapat yun pero
Yeah, originally this was supposed to be a Cinemalaya film. Yeah, 'di ba? And si Lovie Poe yung nakalagay dun sa synopsis. Pero I guess scheduling problems, hindi siya pwede. So si Maxine yung kayo manggi-ish naman si Maxine. So I guess
pero parang nakasira nung suspension of disbelief.
bakit hindi na lang kasi si Elora Espan? Joke lang eh.
Beauty queen yan.
Guys, do you have any more thoughts about Pinay Beauty? Any other comments?
Sad-kiss pa rin mga ulit.
And yeah, pwede mo si Laura.
Pwede naman siya. Lovely G. Lovely F. Ganun.
Oh my God.
So you wanna move on to
Next.
Ang Babaeng Allergic sa Wi-Fi.
Okay, Ang Babaeng Allergic sa Wi-Fi. It's a film by Jun Lana.
Yeah.
And it's about the titular girl is Norma. Who's your normal college girl.
Normal.
Norma.
Normal.
Normal.
I see the word play.
And one day she develops an allergy to electromagnetic radiation or Wi-Fi. Ganun. And at the same time, there's this one guy, Jameson Blake, who's in love with her, but he can't express his feelings.
Yeah.
And at the same time, Norma is the girlfriend of his brother.
Hindi siya makapag-express ng feelings kahit mahilig siya mag-shoutout.
Yeah, mahilig siya mag-shoutout.
So yeah, bye shoutout.
So, sino sa inyo nakapanood na ng Babaeng Allergic sa Wi-Fi?
I've seen it.
DG, have you seen it? No?
No.
Elora, have you seen?
Yeah.
Oh, Elora, what do you think of?
Huwag tayong ganyan.
Alis na yung guest natin, joke.
Si Dr. John. As a
actually.
doctor.
Yeah, well, it can happen. Pero,
Really?
Yung pag-shoutout?
No.
hindi yung electromagnetic radiation. Parang it happen. Parang may something in the medical literature. I'm not really sure.
But can you really avoid yun yung ako naman as an engineer parang kahit pumunta siya
Parang
ng
kahit saan
probinsya,
merong
hindi ka-
electromagnetic
yun ang
radiation
matatakas.
pa rin. Siguro mas mababa yung yung intensity. I don't know.
Sa lupa mismo
May electromagnetic radiation.
Araw.
Diba? Pero yun, ano ba sasabihin ko? Meron to.
Sa mga forum.
Nawala ako bigla, sorry.
Yeah.
May a few months back, may trailer siya.
Yeah.
So apparently, ginawa nila yung trailer first to gain interest. And then once they gained interest, parang naka 1 million views siya. Doon na sila gumawa ng pelikula. And the film that resulted is kind of different from the trailer that we saw. So yes,
yung joke nga natin di ba parang it's the trailer first company.
Trailer first company.
I'm part of that company.
The opinions of Third World Cinema Club are not
Joke lang yun. Pero para bumawi, naniniwala naman ako na idea first company, idea first talaga. Parang yun din yung sinabi ko before for sa ang dalawang Mrs. Reyes. Talagang makikita mo na idea muna eh.
Then they build it.
Oh, parang idea driven, parang si Taksama.
Di ba kasi yung sa Babaeng Allergic sa Wi-Fi, hindi naman talaga si Marcus Patterson yung dapat gaganap.
Yeah, it was Jerome Ponce.
Yeah.
Oh, si Jerome Ponce?
Yeah.
Talaga? Oh.
Siya na sa trailer. Siya na sa original trailer.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I guess hindi rin siya pwede for, scheduling reasons.
So, teka lang, meron dalawang version ng trailer nito.
No,
No.
yeah, technically kasi there's a trailer for this
Parang teaser
for the
trailers.
PPP.
For the PPP
there's a trailer
for the
film for the idea.
for the idea of the
Yeah.
film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, parang pitch yung first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tristan, what did you think about the film?
Sige. Where do I start? Hindi.
The opinions of it.
I like na meron naman heart to it at times.
Yeah.
Yung walang the story itself, it's like, ano siya, too, I'm trying to deliver my words. I think ano siya, too focused siya on creating the moments or too focus on the aesthetic. Na in a way, I think ano siya eh, ironically nag-echo yung moral of the story to itself. Kasi diba the film, it's about disconnecting. It's about disregarding the images that we show on social media to actually build the character, build connections, relationships.
I was surprised din na yung social media sa film na to, pinortray siya both positively and negatively
Yeah. So yun nga, parang feeling ko, the film itself is like that. Na it was focused on the surface, on what it showed, na yung medyo yung pagtahi ng story.
Medyo alanganin sa'yo.
Di siya nag-alanganin. Siya feeling ko, weird lang na alam mo parang ang daming quirky moments na feel ko nilagay just to make it resonate with the quote-unquote millennials na
Millennial crowd.
Na the tinfoil hats, the making the car babulutan mo yung kotse.
Yeah, the car foil.
These are images. Spoiler warning. So these are like images that are meant to really be screen capable moments. They're moments, they're not.
Yung po-post sa mga cinehub.
Yeah.
So yun. Ako personally ay mababaw lang ang kaligayahan ko. Na-enjoy ko tong pelikulang to. Parang at first like 2/3 niya, it's like, romantic comedy. Parang, ganito. Parang ang cute ng interactions with the characters. Parang tumatalab pa naman sa akin kilig. Hindi pa naman patay yung puso ko.
naman sa akin.
Charot lang. Nung by the end of the film, meron siyang legitimately parang emotional moment. Parang na in fairness, naiyak ako dun sa moment na yun.
That's what I like. I didn't like the most. I didn't want to spoil it, pero parang siyang attempt at emotionality.
Yeah.
Sentimentality.
Mawkish, kumbaga.
Mawkish. Ayan. I'm a very sentimental person. So tumala. Tapos parang nandun ako kasi pag umupo ako sa sinehan, usually nasa upo, nasa harapan ako. So wala nakakita sa akin umiiyak. So parang, ano ba to? Ba't ito yung pelikula to? Ganun ako. So, I can see its appeal for millennial audiences and audiences that appreciate, your standard rom-coms.
Appreciate John Green.
John Greenish, like that. Pero I get naman your points na yung parang Jun Lana, who's known as this director who, he has a lot of interesting ideas. Parang I wish he could have done more with the concept.
Actually, ito actually yung una kong pinanood based dun sa title and premise lang talaga. Tapos, based dun sa poster, parang in-expect ko na sobrang colorful niya. Na, well, nakita ko naman dun sa film.
Marilyn Magsaysay. Yeah, yung colorist.
Pero cinematographer is Tay Clammer.
Si Tay.
Diba?
Tay Clammer.
Medyo fan ako ni Tay Clammer since Sleepless pa lang.
Oh yeah, he's great. Great hits.
Pero yun nga, yung premise, parang I expected na they would go further with that, na it would be quirkier.
Yeah.
Pero it turned out to be quite normal.
Normal. By the way, guys, there's a sequence in the middle of the film na may parang cyberbullying na nangyayari. And may retaliatory strike, kumbaga, yung protagonists natin. And yung fallout from that.
The names of the characters.
In general terms lang. Para na spoiler. So parang wala masyadong fallout na nangyari from that, from that sequence of events.
Or off-screen yung fallout.
Parang yun nga hindi na natin ulit nakita yung character na yun. Pero yun nga, parang I sana na-address din yung, kasi parang what they did is also not good.
Good, yeah.
So
pero doon ulit pumapasok yung pagiging idea first nila kasi pinipili.
Idea first
Pero totoo kasi yung students sila, di ba?
Yeah,
And
that's right.
Specifically Catholic school students sila.
Yes.
So merong extra gravity yung yun.
Yeah. So, ano guys, any other thoughts? Galing si Sue Ramirez dito actually. Gusto ko niya. Tapos Jameson Blake. Shout out to Jameson Blake. Ikaw na.
I'll ask him rin tapos for sure.
Baka pwede siya mag-guest sa atin.
For a
shout out.
Pero to be fair, I hear good things about him as a person.
Yeah, mabait na. I would appreciate.
Yeah. And I think it would be a discussion for another day, pero it's kasi it's telling na how our industry acts na we really move via favors.
Yes.
And so
Pabor-pabor din eh.
so
kahit saan actually.
You can't really blame a person if
So it's okay. It's cool, man. It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool.
Hashtag,
Cool.
it's okay.
Hashtags okay. Okay, next film guys. In the
You wanna do Madilim ang Gabi? Though I haven't seen this.
Okay, so who's seen Madilim ang Gabi?
Infinity Drug War.
Infinity.
But I have questions about the film.
Okay,
Infinity.
have you seen it?
I've seen it.
Elora, have you seen Madilim ang Gabi?
Yun yung hindi ko.
Okay, so we won't ask you.
Hindi pa panoorin ko. Nasa sine ko lokal pa eh.
Oh, okay. Sige.
So who's seen it?
I've seen it. DJ.
Ikaw and DJ, go.
Paul, have you seen it? No?
Yeah.
So, sige, kaming dalawa lang. Madilim ang Gabi. It's about, it's by Adolph Alex. And it's about this couple, Philip Salvador and Gina Alahar, right? Again. Magkasama ba sila sa
Controversial.
Sa
Bayan ko kapit sa pag.
Hindi, saka sa Pastor.
Pastor, yeah.
Which is yung question ko. Is this better?
I think this is
Than
better than Pastor. Pero alam mo, in a weird way, gusto ko yung Pastor kasi parang fictional siya of yung buhay ni Philip Salvador as an action star versus
Yes.
Philip Salvador as the born again Christian. Parang ganun yung gusto nilang peg doon.
ba siya?
Di ba? Yun ang pagkakaalam
Parang
ko.
silang tatlo ata.
So parang
They decided to make the film
Gina lang.
Adolf.
Interesting.
Parang I know it has its lapses yung Pastor, pero nagustuhan ko yung parang approach niya na yun nga, na tipong ito si Philip, the action star, mga baril ng tao, ganun. And this is Philip, the God-fearing man na who wants to be distanced. Pero yun nga, so Madilim ang Gabi. So this couple, they are small-time drug dealers. They live in this, parang shanty town, I guess, or yung parang slums.
Tondo mismo.
Yeah. And their son, one of the Rocco's brothers, Felix. Felix is yung pasaway siya, ganun. Gusto nilang the couple tries to go away from the drug trade para maprotektahan yung anak nila. Unfortunately, one day nawala yung anak nila and they try in vain to search for him. So, Madilim ang Gabi, DJ. First, always first.
Well, first impression ko, even during watching it, naisip ko na para siyang this film is what Marosa would have been had it been made 1 year later. And maybe kung iba yung director na gumawa niya.
Yeah.
Sobrang ganun kasi siya, para siyang sequel nga ng Marosa. Kasi,
Or parang companion piece no?
And arguably, meron pang callback scene na kung sa Marosa, kumain ng fishball. Squidball si Jacqueline sa dulo. Dito, kwek-kwek naman.
Kwek-kwek versus fishball.
Nasa
Dawn of Justice. Ganun.
Nasa rekta si Gina Alahar.
Yeah.
Tapos yung scene, talagang tumigil sila para panoorin na siya kumakain ng kwek-kwek. Tapos habang naglalakad siya, ganun. Yun, ganun siya. Parang madilim
siya.
Parang kung yung Marosa medyo uplifting or hopeful pa
medyo
by its end, ito despair yung mararamdaman.
Madilim talaga siya.
Question ako, ano mas madilim? Madilim ang gabi o Baconawa?
Visually ba? Or
Visually or thematically?
madilim kasi yung cinematography ng
Baconawa. Parang solo.
Ano ba sa dilim?
Charot.
Medyo intellectual kasi yung Baconawa eh. Parang yun, mag-isip ka muna so wala kang emotions masyado. Ito, kita mo eh.
Raw.
Raw.
It's a very raw portrait of the drug war that's going on right now. Ako, na-appreciate ko naman yung approach ni Adolph Alex. At medyo slow ng konti yung pelikula at the start. Pero once it picks up, it picks up.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. There were some parts in this film na parang nag-gets na namin, okay na. May isang part na sa may morgue. Tapos nandun yung couple and they're looking for for their son. Tapos merong parade of these people na nawalan
Si
din
Miles
ng anak.
Canapi.
Si Miles Canapi, naghahapon siya.
Naghahapoy?
Naghahapon. Parang,
Ah,
doko des ka, sugiwarasan. Gumagano siya. And
So, Disney.
so Disney. Tapos ang daming mga ilang natin. Maraming mga taong maraming parang kung tayo na immersed na dito sa milyon na to, parang gets na natin. Pero I think for a foreign audience, yung mga nanonood nito for a foreign festivals, mas magiging impactful sa kanila yung film. So ewan ko kung kasi ako parang medyo OA na to, ang dami na eh.
But this came out for
Toronto?
in a
Toronto,
festival in
TIFF,
Toronto. Yeah, so maybe that's
Baka yung aim niya. I appreciate rin na it's for, awareness. Parang alam natin kung ano nangyari sa Pilipinas. Pero at the same time, yung napapansin kong trend ngayon, medyo defeatist-ish yung trend. Tipong, sige na, ito na yung problema. Ano pwede natin gawin? Wala tayong pelikula masyado na gano'n.
Yes.
baka for the sequel na yun sa Maliwanag ang Umaga.
Maliwanag ang Umaga. Featuring even more actors. De, joke lang.
60 naman na
Tsaka ang daming
Sobrang distracting yun eh.
Ang dami niya. Yun, parang halong nakakatuwa siya tsaka parang in fairness, parang ang dami niya nakuhang actors from his
Pinaka-nagulat ako kay Isa Calzado.
yun nga eh. Parang ang daming Cinemalaya films na na-represent dun sa pelikulang yan. Si Ken Nuyad nandun, so Liway, nandun si Isa Calzado, Distance, nandun si Perla Bautista, so Lapit Hapon, nandun din. So, parang wow. Parang,
So I hope si Stefano Mori nasa...
Stefano Mori. Yung gumanap kay Lester Quevedo. Charot lang. So, ayun. Any other thoughts about Madilim ang Gabi? Or questions? No? Okay. Personally, mas nagustuhan ko pa rin ng Marosa to this. Pero, your mileage may vary naman. Yeah. Next film? Ano yung next film natin?
Let's do The Day After Valentine's.
Okay. The day.
So shall we...
Who has seen? No?
I've seen
No?
it.
You seen it?
I've seen
DJ?
it. Yeah.
Elora, have you seen?
Yeah.
Oh, Elora, what did you think?
Hi, Kuya JC.
Sige, ako na muna. So, The Day After Valentine's, this is one of two films by Jason Paul Lacsamana in this festival. And it's about Kai, this played by JC Santos. He's this parang on the ropes, medyo depressed guy.
Yeah.
He meets Lani, or played by Bella Padilla. This kind of strong-willed, spunky girl. And they form a relationship together. Things happen, they go to Hawaii, and then more things happen.
Parang siya yung parang The Rock na JC builds himself.
The Rock.
Second team up na nila to.
Yes.
Not Dwayne The Rock, but I mean gets...
First
Yeah.
yung isang tanto.
So this is their second team up since
Yeah.
Isandaan Tula. And it's a very... Yeah, this is also a PPP film. And it's a very different film from Isandaan Tula.
Yeah.
At parang nag-wear siya ng disguise ng romantic comedy at first, or a romantic film at first. Pero it becomes something a lot more by the last third.
Yeah.
Tas it's parang it's a discussion on pain, on healing, and all of those things. And ano nga ba 'yon? Personally, may interpretation ako that it also talks about language.
Yeah.
There are two languages in the film.
I have a comment on that, pero sige yung first.
There are two languages in the film that feature prominently. Hawaiian and Baybayin, right? Some of the Baybayin words are untranslated. So, hindi natin alam kung ano yung pinagsasabi nila doon. And Hawaiian also it also, parang malalim din yung pagka-seep into ng Hawaiian sa pangalan ng dalawang characters, kunyari. Kai and Lani, Sea and Sky, hindi sila magmi-meet, di ba? Pero, over the horizon, ganun, charot. And parang, I viewed it parang as parang when we fall in love, ganun, or when we...
Humugot.
Guys naman.
We fall in love.
Papa Jack, yeah. When we have a relationship, we try to communicate our feelings like through language, not just verbal language, but through gestures, through, And the problem of the two characters in this film is they could not communicate themselves to each other properly.
Actually, that's what I want to bring up about the language. Kasi, okay, we may think na it's allegorical ba ang tawag dun, but the, like what you mentioned, we communicate via language, and a big part of this film, it's perception versus reality. So,
Oh yes, very much
it's
so.
is this a story that's commenting about how we see the superficial use of language and not really ano ba,
Understand
the nuances, the depth of meaning
Yes.
per language. Pero if yun ang message niya, yung film rin parang ewan ko ba if we're reading too much into it, kasi for me ang babaw ng pagkakagamit nung baybayin and
yung baybayin medj.
Baybayin and the Hawaiian vernacular. Parang ano lang siya, we present it to you, tas
Yeah.
it doesn't really drive. If that is the message,
Yeah.
if we're giving Jason Laksamana credit for this deep thought into how he uses it, or is it just is it something na present lang niya to get millennials
To get millennials in cinemas, ganun.
yeah, baybayin.
Well, it's art is art. Pag nilabas na niya, it's open to interpretation.
Death of the author.
Death of the author talaga siya. And there, sabi mo nga, reality and what do you call this? Perception. There's one very interesting scene at the very start, yung sumasayaw si Bella Padilla.
Yeah.
And yung perception
Asap.
is yung parang asap, ganun.
Sunday pinasaya.
Na Itbulaga-ish na dance na tipong very well choreographed. Pero the reality is she's drunkenly dancing na tipong parang nandidiri na yung mga katao niya sa paligid. So, parang may ganong levels din na nangyayari sa kanya.
So parang okay rin siya in a way na it eschews our perception na this is gonna be a rom-com.
Yes.
Kasi bumenta siya last year.
So, perception and reality din, di ba?
Pero for me, the same time, itong film, ang niya, wala pa siyang sinasabi, tapos biglang ang dami na sinasabi. It's like,
Parang tayo yung kumukuha ng meaning from it. I
kasi
guess.
parang sa simula, it's like, wala lang, I felt the characterization very superficial pa at the start. Then, when it delivers, though narratively naman, tinatahin nila, or
Yeah.
there's a reason behind it, based on the narrative. Pero I felt lang too late a hero yung characterizations, and at the start it's just like, okay, ito the problems, they bond through it, Hawaii bakasyon, and then sa dulo that's when they try to add plot developments
Yeah.
to form a character.
Parang meron siyang sinusuot na disguise no? Kasi yung tropes na ginagamit nitong pelikulang to, makikita mo sa mga romantic, yung parang trip to an exotic location, meron kayong meet cute, meron kayong ganito, may away-away kayo. Pero yun nga, even at that level, meron pa rin siyang play, parang pinaglalaroan pa rin niya yung sinasabi mo.
Speaking of location, that's one of the things I really appreciated about this film. Si Laksamana naman kasi palagi siyang may sense of place.
Yes.
Bilang Kapampangan filmmaker, palagi parang advocacy na niya in his films.
Na Pampanga yun.
Since Too Cool to Be Forgotten or even before Mercury's
Astro
Smile.
mayabang parang din yata eh.
And yung Hawaii, well, exotic location niya siya.
Yeah.
Pero
Yung Hawaii,
I'm not sure if it's just me, pero medyo fresh ang Hawaii as a location.
Oo nga eh. It's not
Na-
your usual European exotic
Yeah.
country.
And it's not just about the beauty or the exoticness of the place, pero yung connection niya to our history.
Yes.
So, na parang Tale of the Lost Boys na yung Taiwan is more connected to us than we realize pala.
Yeah.
Hawaii is another such place.
Actually nga parang okay rin aralin yan, or we can devote another session for it. Yun,
For-
why do Filipino films, we always
Go somewhere.
Go somewhere.
Else.
Is it because isa tayong third world country na our audiences, yun na lang yung nagiging means of travel na we watch?
Alam mo, pwede din eh. It's like fantasy fulfillment din eh. Yung mga Milan, ganyan.
Barcelona,
ang
Dubai.
ganda-ganda.
Ano ba bang hindi pa nagagawa na?
Antarctica na lang yata hindi natin mapupunta.
Pero kasi yun, medyo diasporic yung dating.
That's true.
Kasi mga pinanggagalingan ng ating remittances. Plus,
diba?
medyo gitnang uring pantasya siya sa atin na hindi tayo nakakapunta sa ganyan. So bakit dali natin ngayon ang audience natin through this film na Hawaii, Milan, Dubai, and kung ano pang lugar.
Parang you live that place. Through that film.
Vicariously.
Films.
So, any more thoughts on The Day After Valentine's? Ako, gusto ko siya, pero, mileage may vary again. It's a very interesting film to talk about.
Parang, yun nga, it's more interesting to talk about than
To watch.
Ano sinabi ko?
Joke.
Kino-compare ko kasi siya dun sa previous team-up nga nila ni JC and Bella. Parang mas dama mo yung Sandaan Dula kasi mas sentimental naman
Yes,
siya,
that's
obviously. Pero this one is more interesting to talk about.
Yeah, okay.
May question muna ako.
Yeah.
Sinong writer nito?
I think siya din.
Si
Jason
Paul.
Laksamana din.
So, okay. Akala ko si Bella ang nagsulat.
But she writes, diba?
Yeah, she writes.
Nagsusulat siya.
She has a book of poems, di ba?
Sa kanya last night,
Siya yung Last Night.
Ayun, yung nasa poster ng The Day After Valentine's, may baybayin doon. Tapos nabuhan ko siyang basahin after the film. Tayo na ba?
Oh,
Yun nakasulat.
di ba? Oh.
Paul, as a lit professor, anong masabi mo sa poems ni Bella?
Guys, baka kuyugin tayo niya. Bypass tayo niyan, ha?
Sinasabi.
Ma-bypass tayo. Ako si Yatko, ha?
Top 10 for another day.
Yeah, talk for another day.
Ayun. So, next film. Number 5 na ba tayo?
Yeah, you wanna do...
Okay, so...
Sige. So, let's do muna We Will Not...
Okay, We Will Not Die Tonight by Richard Somes, starring Erich Gonzalez. And she plays Cray. She's a stunt woman.
Cray pangalan niya.
Cray ang pangalan niya.
Cray.
Cray pala, sorry.
K-R-A-Y.
Cray.
R-A-Y.
Oh, Cray. Kiray Celis, charot.
Very cray.
Cray. So, she's a stunt woman. Tapos, parang wala siyang big break sa kanyang ginagawa. One day, her old friend, Alex Medina, invites her to,
Ex-boyfriend.
ex-boyfriend niya. Invites her to a special, parang, may special deal. Parang MLM parang ganun.
Siargao.
To Siargao, de joke lang. She and her old crew, stunt crew, go to this place, and it turns out parang they're being recruited into this organ harvesting syndicate.
So, like bamboo organ or...
organ. So, they get street children, tapos they cut them open, wala ba, hindi nga sterile guys as a doctor hindi sterile yung ginagawa nila. Pero yun, syempre ayaw nila, so they have to fight it out for the rest of the night. So, will they die tonight or not? Let's find out. Sino nakapanood na We Will Not Die Tonight? DJ?
Yes.
Jim, sige.
Go, Jim.
Ako talaga.
You lead the discussion.
Tristan, have you watched it?
No, I did not.
Laura, have you watched it? Hindi mo natapos? Okay. Paul? Okay. So, Jim, what did you think about We Will Not Die Tonight?
So, syempre kasi di ba by bust and then We Will Not Die Tonight.
Yes.
So, hindi naiiwasan na parang i-compare, gano'n.
Very fresh pa.
Pero ang kasi dito, yung emergence kasi ng action films natin, yung bida, babae.
Yes.
So, like in By Bus, Ann Curtis, and then dito si Erich Gonzalez. So, nandun yung mga questions na feminist ba ang action films?
I guess may component na feminist siya.
Ganon. Tapos, ang napapansin ko kasi, di ba, with yung galaw ng stunt ni Ann Curtis, and ito nga, si Erich Gonzalez, kahit na yung may mga talagang punch, ganun, kicks, feminine pa din. Parang katulad ni Ann Curtis. Kasi hindi siya yung maton, di ba? Kasi when you expect na mga maton na girl, like...
Brandon Vera.
Brandon Vera.
Hindi, like mga...
Si Erich Gonzalez nang hahagis ng tao
Yung mga yan, Michelle Yeoh, Michelle Rodriguez, di ba? Sino pa ba? Sila... Sigourney Weaver, di ba?
Cynthia Luster.
Cynthia Rothrock, sila Scarlett Johansson, di ba?
Yeah.
Even Jodie Foster, Jamie Lee Curtis before, di ba? Makikita mo talaga na pag yung character niya, even Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2 na pag talaga, strong talaga, yung maton talaga. Pero to makikita mo pa rin yung feminine side, di ba?
Pwede tayo mag-family feed kay Jim, ang dami.
On the other hand, yung nakikita ko rin na medyo napapansin ko din, yung bidang babae, hindi sila kayo manggi. Naano ko lang siya. So, naisip
Yung
ko,
mga babae.
Oo, di ba? Hindi
Or
sila.
someone na dapat ay babad sa araw.
Oo. So, ang nasa isip ko, what if
Baka sa warehouse sila palaging naglalakad. Kaya walang araw.
So, nasa isip ko na what if sana si Mercedes Cabral, Suprad, or even Elora Espanya ang gumanap kasi
Elora, papayag ka ba?
papayag ka ba naman gano'n?
Mag-action role.
Ay, kida pa lang alam ko.
Pwede na yun.
Yeah, Mara Lopez and
Mara Lopez.
Bypass, ganun. Pero kasi yung lead talaga, like si Ann Curtis and Edge Gonzalez, di ba?
Kung pupunta kasi sa action film, Elora, anong gusto mong title? Ubusan ng
Ubusan ng lahi.
Sige, pag-isipan natin yan. Sige, Jim, ano pa?
Tapos, di ba, yung Bypass kasi We Will Not Die Tonight, magkaiba na situation. Pero ang
Yes.
similarity ay yung characters, yung lead characters na babae, pareha silang naharap sa delikadong sitwasyon.
Okay.
Yun. Although iba lang ng
Iba yung circumstances,
circumstances. Ayun. Yun muna.
Sige. We Will Not Die Tonight. I see the comparisons you can make with it and By Bust. Kasi they're both female-centric action films na local. Yung problem I had with the first part of By Bust is also present here. Na yung pag-stage nila ng action, it relies too much on fast cuts, close up.
Yeah.
Napansin ko din yan with Somme's previous film, yung Cry No Fear, na tipong, it's a home invasion film, pero sobrang close, as in nakikita mo na yung pores nila Donalyn Bartolome, ganun, hindi mo na nakikita yung, wala kang wide shots to establish what's going
May
on.
force mas Donald Bertolome. May force ba or
Joke lang, pero parang ganun.
Kaka-babe siya.
Flawless. Kaka-babe talaga yun. Hi, Donalyn. Please guest with us. The joke. Pero yun, may isang magandang sequence sa We Will Not Die Tonight. It takes place in a staircase.
Yeah.
Yun, it's well shot, magandang action.
May flow.
May flow. Nakikita mong nagsastruggle si Erich, pero may storya siyang sinasabi. Whereas in some of the other scenes, sobrang confusing. Hindi mo ma-parse yung action into what's going on, what's happening to one character at a particular time. Pero I appreciated naman the effort na they put into the film.
Fairness.
I haven't seen the film, but I think that's a general comment naman with action right now. Na
Yes.
we follow still the Hollywood model na it's fast cuts and shaky cam. And baka we have to look at it na baka it's because I don't wanna put myself in a pit here, pero baka hindi pa tayo ganun ka-capable. Like, are we trained to like do physicality? Like, kasi if you saw sa Bypass, iba the way they shoot Brandon Vera scenes
Are different
compared to the others. Kasi the others, you have to create a sense of impact, and halata naman na parang hindi pa masyadong
Wala tayong Monsieur Del Rosario.
walang
Di ba?
wala masyadong contact pa masyado yung stunts that they do.
That's true.
So maybe it's part of the process na we start with this.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah,
Yes.
you see the capability eh. Kasi sa Bypass, the majority of the scenes are fast cuts and shaky cams. There are may specks of brilliance.
Yes.
Kaya naman pala.
Sa Bypass, there was, yung scene ni Anna, yung continuous, yung over the rooftops, ganun. Yun, at least, si Anna naman is not compared siguro sa mga MMA, ganun. Hindi naman siya the most physical, like, actress. Pero, she managed to make the shot work. So, I hope,
Kasi even sa other countries, like, those who are not like professionally trained stunt people, or at least they got doubles to do their stunts for them, di ba?
Madalang na rin kasi yung martial artist actresses ngayon. So, I guess, yun then lies one of the points of difficulty. DJ, what did you think of We Will Not Die Tonight?
Wala naman ako masyadong masabi sa pelikula. Nag-enjoy naman ako kasi parang for me it's a known quantity going into the theater na Richard Sommes, yung cinematographer niya na mahilig sa yellow.
Yes, very
cinematography.
Same ba sa historiography ka?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
And El Peste. Pero ako na-appreciate ko siya dito kasi parang yun nga, parang bagay siya dun sa bodega na.
Fairness.
Bagay nga.
Bagay siya. Saka yung production design ni Richard Sommes bilang production designer,
Ganda
di ba?
yung production.
Excellent. Parang they shot it in just one building. Iba-ibang floors lang.
Most of it.
Yeah. And
Somewhere in Escolta, I think.
Escolta, wow. Interesting. And in fairness sa supporting cast, they're also decent. Si Thao Reyes, si Max Eigenman,
Ayun, nagalingan na rin ako kay Max Eigen.
si Alex Medina, kahit he spends most of the film na umiika-ika siya. Pero okay pa rin.
Nasaksak na yung, oh my God.
Oo, sinaksak ka na. Ako sasaksak. Hihilata na lang ako dun eh.
Oo, my pa.
So mga action films na kaya ako munang mamamatay.
will not die tonight.
Oh, dapat I will not die tonight kasi spoiler ba?
Dalawa lang ako. Ay, spoiler.
Yan. I think they're gonna release the R18 cut.
version.
So, yeah. This was an R16 or is it R13?
16.
R16 cut yung napanood sa PPP. They will release the uncut version which screened at the New York Asian Film Festival.
The Snyder cut.
The Snyder cut. May lilipad-lipad na si Eris Gonzalez.
So, 15 minutes more.
Ooh, nice. Action scenes.
Violence.
Nice.
By organs, by violence.
I'm so up with that. Alam mo, personally ako, babayad ako ng ticket, manood lang ng Erich Gonzalez. Kicking ass. So, please, Erich Gonzalez. Guest ka sa amin. Lahat na, no? Ganun. So, okay, any more thoughts? Should we move on to the next film?
Ang ano ko lang dun with We Will Not Die Tonight, may pagka parang 90s vibes ng action film.
Yeah, or early 2000s-ish. Yeah.
Ganon.
Intentional siguro.
Probably may aesthetic sila.
Oo. Yan. Pero talagang panalo yung production design.
Actually,
Super
slightly parang medyo homage. Kasi ano siya eh, in honorary yung
Si Baldomaro?
Baldomaro.
Yeah.
Saka nga nakaka-surprise yun si Sarah Jane Abad kasi di ba child actress siya. Oo, child actor siya eh. Di ba yung biglang, tapos di ba asawa siya ni Jay ng Kamikaze. So
Yes.
parang nung iba yung character niya dito, si Lola.
Okay.
Saka, syempre si Maxine Eigenman.
Siya yung sino sa kontrabida yung pinlay ni Sarah Jane Abad?
Siya yung asawa ba ni...
Siya ba si Tisay?
Yung asawa ni Paolo Paraiso.
Okay.
Dun sa-
Gets. Okay, so next film. Sige. So next film, Signal Rock by Chito Ronyo. Ito, wala nang kawala to. Talagang sasalita na siya na dito.
Papanoorin ko pala.
So Signal Rock is about Intoy. He's parang parang he does a lot of stuff.
He's like the
Errand boy of the village.
siya yung friend of everyone.
So one day his sister who is in Finland, she asks him for help with a child custody dispute, and Intoy spends the rest of the film filling out paperwork. Basically, the film is about filling paperwork. But it's the most exciting paperwork you will ever see filled out. As he tries to create this illusion na may kaya sila para hindi makuha yung anak ng kapatid ni Intoy. So yun, Signal Rock. Have we all seen Signal Rock? Jim has not seen. You've seen it, Tristan?
Yeah.
Elora, have you seen Signal?
Have you watched yourself?
Parang hindi. So, I guess...
aling cut.
So, sige, for starters, Elora, could you talk to us a bit about your experience filming Signal Rock? And what did you think about the film once you saw it?
Wala lang, bakasyon lang sa Biri Island.
Saan to sinut? Saan sinut?
Biri, Samar.
Hometown ni
Hometown ni Chito Ronyo?
Actually, hindi niya hometown. Ano siya eh, taga kabilang island. Pero, hi po!
Sige.
Sorry po, meron pong channel dito.
Regal Shocker edition.
Ayun, anyway. So, nasa Biri Samar kami. Tapos, actually going there yung hard part. Pero nung nandun na kami, para kaming nagbabakasyon talaga.
Oh, interesting.
Kasi ang ganda nung island. Tapos, yung community, nakikitulog lang kami doon. Kasi
Okay.
walang hotels, walang inns doon. So, Direk Chito asked the community kung pwede kami magstay sa iba't ibang bahay, kung sino yung may spare room, ganyan.
Yeah.
Tapos, nag-immerse kami talaga with the island people. Tapos, parang taga doon na rin kami. So, yun.
Interesting. So, ano pa? Do you have any questions to ask? Yes.
How was it working with Direk Chito Ronyo?
Ayun, noong una, takot na takot ako kasi nga maraming horror stories about him na terror nga ganyan. Pero nung nandun na kami, para siyang tatay sa amin eh. Very ano siya. Kain na kayo, ganyan. Tapos, pag may discussion about the scene, yung process niya kasi, hindi niya binigay yung whole script sa amin. So, nung napanood namin yung pelikula, lahat kami nagulat na, shit, ganun pala yung nangyari. Siya pala yung pumatay, may ganun.
Okay.
So, may shock factor for us. Kasi, yung binigay niya, side scripts lang.
Parang ano lang, scenes lang. Individual
Scenes lang. Tapos, tinatanong niya, or we have table work na, anong sa tingin mo ang gagawin ni Rachel bilang may character? Sa scene, paano niya i-attack yung ganitong scene? So, ganun siya. Parang he's very collaborative and he asks you what you think of the character. So, ganun siya.
So, Elora, you worked with a lot of veteran directors na Chito Ronyo, Eric Mati, Mike De Leon. Which of the following who among them was your most enjoyable? Not to put down the other ones, pero what's your...
Mahirap yan kasi sa totoo lang, hindi dahil nagmamalinis ako, pero kasi, lahat, iba-iba yung experience eh. Sobrang, tapos iba-iba din yung characters, iba-iba yung process, so you really enjoy the process of each and every films
Film.
you do.
Okay.
Pero si Direk Chito Ronyo, do you know kung yung process niya dito same as with his usual work? Kasi I'm not sure, pero medyo passion project daw niya to, di ba? Compared to his other usual mainstream work.
Yeah.
I think sabi nga nung ibang tao na iba siya mag-work dito. Sabi niya mas magaan siya dito kasi nga he's getting a lot of people. Tapos, na parang to work for him na hindi naman ganun ka taas ng compensation in terms of money. So, ang compensation niya is, alagaan kita. Just, give your heart and your soul to this project. Parang ganon. So, ganon.
Any more questions, guys?
I'm good.
Okay, so, Signal Rock, ako, I think, tayong lahat, we all agree. We really
Na consensus is...
no spoilers, guys. We all really like this film.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the better or the best films of 2018.
Yeah. I think, consensus naman tayo na there's a huge gap between this and
the other entries. Yes. And unanimously across the board.
Yeah.
I think everyone I know likes this film the most sa PPP entries because it's a very interesting film in that it talks a lot about yung diaspora natin, ng Pilipino. It talks about small town life, champion niya yung small town life, and compared with his 2013 film yung Badil. Badil ends on a very medyo bleak yung Badil madilim siya, while itong pelikulang to, it's a bit hopeful at the end. Yun.
And parang, I think using The Rock as a representation of distances. That's interesting kasi at its heart, this is a tale of distances. The people leave the great lengths people would do for the sake of their loved ones. At the same time, it talks about the distance between and yung parang nawawalang connection between you and people who leave. And it's very interesting na in this island, it's systemic na the women leave either by finding a
husband
or going abroad to work. So yun ang conditioning nila, diba? It's a layered representation.
Eloria, you have something to contribute. Kinuha.
Trivia pala. Lahat ng characters at story, pero kasing vignettes yung umpisa, no?
Yeah.
Lahat ng story na to, totoo siyang nangyari sa
buhay
isla.
sa buhay ni Chito Ron,
Yes.
no?
Hindi, si Intoy, actually, we met the totoong Intoy.
Oh, interesting.
So, parang pinakita niya yung mga documents na ginawa niya, ganyan. Tapos, yung pamangkin niya, hindi talaga babae, lalaki. Tapos, ayun. Tapos, yung ate niya nasa abroad pa rin. Tapos, yung pamangkin niya malaki na, binata na.
Hindi talaga siya bumalik ever, according to this.
Hindi siya bumalik with her.
May spoil.
Spoilers,
Hindi. Pero hindi namin na-interview regarding sa pagbalik. Kasi nung sinushoot nga namin, hindi namin alam yung buong storya ng pelikula.
I see.
So, hindi na namin na-interview yung mismong tao.
May cooking show
In
sa
depth. Ganyan. Tapos isa pang interesting, kasi yung Helmut,
Aha, yung guy.
foreigner, yung foreigner doon. Sorry, nag-drop na ako ng character name. Siya talaga yung character na yun.
Oh,
Yung
interesting.
foreigner na yun. Tapos, eventually, iniwan siya nung...
Nung asawa niya.
Yes. Tapos, siya yung umampon nung anak nung...
So paano yung yung villager na asawa niya yung umiwan sa kanya? Wow.
So, nandun siya sa village.
Nandun siya sa
Pero
village.
bumili siya ng lupa doon. Kasi
fairness.
he fell in love with the place.
With the place.
At tas may bahay na siya doon.
That's very nice.
So, marami na ding foreigners doon sa island. And marami din talagang mga doon, nag-asawa ng foreigner.
So,
yun talaga yung story ng place.
I'm guessing pati yung tatay ng character ni Mara Lopez, siya din yun, yung tatay.
Yes.
Oh, in
Yun yung
fairness.
legit. Si Tatay Jewel.
Si Tatay Jewel.
In your face, MMK.
Doon siguro nanggagaling yung power ng film, no? Yung coming from authentic
Oh,
experience.
hugot sa totoo eh.
And it feels like the community feels very lived in. I think that's what
Yes.
that's something I really like na yung siya may laman kasi
That's true.
una, it works at building individual characters. So even the characters have their own mini arcs or kita mo na each has their own, may strata rin sila na
Yes.
ito, may mga mas well off in the island, meron mga mas nakatira sa kubo, pero at the same time when the culmination of the film na-utilize silang lahat so you feel the sense of community.
Oh yeah,
It feels very
definitely.
lived in.
Talagang bayanihan. Sabi ko nga, this is the most exciting filling up of papers that you will see in a theater. I have a few friends, siguro nakita nyo na to. They compare this film to 2 Days, 1 Night by the Dardenne brothers. So, yeah, Marion Cotillard. Very, parang
siya pala
ganun
yung CGI
peg
pala.
niya. Yung CGIC, I understand naman na yun nga, there's a scene kasi dyan na the protagonist, they're sailing in CGIC for the safety of the actors na rin kasi siguro na kailangan i-CGI mo na instead of alam, baka may mamatay naman dyan. Kawawa naman. Pero yun nga. Yun. Oo nga pala. And surprisingly, a lot of the film is very funny. May mga funny moments yan. Yung mga Hello, Mr. Embassy, ganun.
At saka yung humor niya, hindi yung hindi yung Marvel type. Kasi
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's the humor that I really hate. Yung
Hey, look at me!
you add a zinger towards the end. So it's like
May pagka-situational.
yeah, situational siya. Tahita lang siya dun
sa kwento.
Sa kwento na it feels like that it could actually happen. Hindi lang siya zinger.
Oo nga.
Na replaceable jokes.
Yun, I think it's a very accomplished film. One of Chito Ronio's best, at least in this in this decade. Guys, any more?
Ewan ko. Siguro nyo yung nagagawa ng meron kang isang Mon Confiado sa pelikula.
Oh yan, Mon Confiado's character.
Nakatutok yung focus mga doon, masamang tao to. Automatic siya na gano'n. Tapos yung joke, laging yung situation lang yung sinasabi ko Cristo na nakasentro kay Mon Confiado lagi yung patawa na. Hindi naman talaga nakakatawa.
Tahi siya, hindi siya replaceable.
Pero na magaling din, matatakot ka rin sa kanya.
Yes, there's one scene in the film with Mon Confiado na talagang shit, anong mangyayari dito? Kakabahan ka talaga. Parang shit, anong mangyayari dito?
Sobrang kompleto ng pelikula dahil.
Yeah.
It's very competently made. Diba?
Tapos, sige, ikaw muna dyan.
Kahit yung small story lang ng pamilya mismo nito, yung relationship ng tatay at nanay niya, yung parang isang buong pelikula na yun minsan. Pero dito,
Signal Rock 2. Two Rock 2 Signal.
Meron lang akong kasi nakita ko yung post ata ng isang Facebook page about sa sinabi ni Joel David.
Okay, ano sabi ni Joel?
Para much better ata ito sa hailed as the best Philippine cinema, which is sinasabi niya ay anong pelikula ito? Maynila sa Kuko ng Liwanag.
Oh, interesting.
So yun. So nung nakita ko yun, paano maging much better? So I'm not saying na hindi apart itong Signal Rock doon. Pero it gave me an idea that the film Signal Rock is somehow communicating. Literal na nagpapadala siya ng signal sa Maynila sa Kuko ng Liwanag. And Elora's character, I think, is parang kayang sabayan yung ligaya ni Hilda Coronel.
Hilda Coronel. Oh! Elora Espanya Fans Club. Ganun.
They're one and the same at the... Kasi yung may eksena doon, yung room sa tabi ng LRT.
Oo nga.
Na wow, nung nakita ko yung after nung scene na yun, they're resting and this is like Bembol Rocco and
Yeah.
We're changing the name of the podcast number to Elora's Fans Club.
Elora Espanya Cinema Club.
So regarding that, may question ako kay Elora na meron mong sinabi si Direk Chito or si Direk din may writer.
Yes.
Rodi Vera.
Rodi Vera.
Pala. Meron ba yung pahiwatig na may ganito siya? And it's a story of the film is a story of kung sino mo ka naiwan.
Yes.
Kasi yung Maynila is yung urbanity na ng mga characters. And dito si Intoy ay yung Bembol Rocco na hindi umalis doon.
Hindi umalis.
Pero umalis siya, bumalik. So,
Interesting parallel.
Para sa papel.
Elora, what
Wait lang. Napanood ko yung Maynila sa Kuko ng Liwanag, pero hindi ko inisip yun nung ginagawa ko yung eksena. Kasi yun nga, bilang side script lang yung binigay sa akin. Tsaka naka-focus kami. Ang parang objective kasi sabi ni Direk Chito, parang you're trying to be strong. Yung character is trying to be strong and yet parang you're so fragile kasi ikaw lang mag-isa dun sa Manila na wala, magbe-break ka lang talaga. So parang yun yung situation ng scene. So sige, gagawin ko po. Ganun. Masunurin lang. Ganun. So, hindi naman ako lumalim dun sa Pero, oo nga. Parang, ngayon ko lang na-realize yung sinabi mo.
Kasi yung actor parang pareho dead pa yung age parang dalawang babae dun sa
Yeah. Oo nga eh. Ang galing nga ng
mas
parang.
emotional pa si Christian Bables.
Yes.
Compare sa character ni Rachel.
Oo. Na nakatalikod pa doon.
Nakatalikod. At hindi sila magkayakap. Yun yung difference pala. Hindi sila magkayakap dun sa...
Katalikod sila.
I wanna pick your brains on something. Kasi yesterday, I think we established na this is a masterful film.
Yes.
We all really liked it. Not like, but even loved it. But like yesterday, like a friend, kasi I was watching I Can See Your Voice. I Can See Your Voice or Your Face Sounds Familiar. Then, naka-blackface na. Di ba that's a very big issue right now? Tapos parang sabi ng friend ko, bakit kayo, hindi nyo pinag-usapan yung gilawang kayong si
Christian Bables sa Signal Rock.
Oo.
Alam mo, oo nga eh, matagal ng technique yun na pampaitim. Well, maputi naman talaga si Christian Bables-ish, di ba?
Hindi kayo manggi pa siya, naging carrot.
Carrot. Baka maraming carrot sa island. Kumakain kaya beta-carotene, ganun.
So parang for me, yeah, he did an yung performance was really fleshed out. Pero like, parang people are saying, dapat iba ka lang kinasa na instead of dapat put pinaitim.
I'm not sure eh.
Yeah.
Parang I don't think the film would have worked with someone other than
Actually,
Christian.
parang ewan ko parang at times iniisip ko, di ba the reason for that, it's to balance out opportunity. Di ba, yung like in the States, you cast a dark-colored skin person kasi it's a chance for representation.
Yeah.
Dito ba sa small industry? I'm just asking questions. I don't want kasi I personally am trying to reconcile what should you think about such situations? Kasi dito naman it's not you're coming from a place na halos everyone is at a low place.
Yeah.
Hindi naman
For me, sobrang tagal nag-cast.
Yeah.
Kasi friend ko si Minda, yung line producer namin. At kunento niya, 3 months silang nagka-cast.
Wow.
Ang pinaka-challenging is yung Intoy talaga. Yung Intoy at Rachel, actually. Yung Intoy kasi, siya yung klase ng character na hindi takot maging vulnerable. Dapat yung actor niya hindi takot maging vulnerable. At karamihan ng actors natin dito ay may tendency maging matigas. Kung papansinin niyo, parang hindi
Maton.
ganun yung yun na eh, nandun pa rin
Maton
yung
eh.
Machismo pa rin.
Meron talaga. Kaya nag-cast talaga sila ng very vulnerable and charming at the same time. So for me personally, sakto talaga si Christian sa character. Skin color, oo, hindi. Pero yung acting, the personality of the character, siya na yun eh.
Yeah.
So, yun na.
Bakit sa case of one issue at a time?
Saka, ako naman yung first impression or first thought ko naman dyan, parang nagkataon lang na iba yung kulay ng balat niya. Pero Pinoy na Pinoy pa rin naman siya. Imagine mo naman
Hasta
siya
niya
as
Pinoy.
that character.
You can see him pwede mo siyang makita yung ganung klaseng tao in that kind of situation.
I think it's a debate for another day na we have to really talk about cultural relations.
Well, they casted me naman na skin,
Yeah.
Filipino skin.
Yeah.
Sun-kissed pa rin, mga.
Sa kanya, sun kiss sa orange.
Ibang sun-kissed yan.
Pero related to that, yung language. Ano ba ang language sa Biri?
Waray.
Waray.
Samar.
So, bakit? Or parang pinag-isipan niya ba yun? Bakit Tagalog yung ginamit?
Hindi na lang, parang kasi, magiging another challenge pa kung magre-regional pa kami.
Mas mahirapan yung casting.
Tsaka feeling ko aim talaga ni Direk Chito gawin siyang
Parang universal.
parang universal na Filipino.
And did they even name an island sa film? Kasi, like,
Walang pangalan yung
Pupuntang Olongapo. So, I mean, ba't nalapit sa Olongapo? Diba? Pupuntang Manila. So,
meron lang yung landmark dun sa kung saan
Lavisares.
Alam mo,
yung Lavisares na pinag-
Yeah.
It's really meant to be an unnamed island.
parang it's representative of small towns in general.
Kasi tsaka rin there's no signs na Santa Cruz siya malapit. Kasi yung nga, may signs na malapit sa Visayas, pupunta siya sa Olongapo, o may Bicol.
Parang fortuitously, parang before ko napanood tong Signal Rock, may napanood akong isang very similar parang film and theme. Ishmael Bernals na nasa tubig.
Cinemalaya closing.
No, Cinemalaya, parang closing-ish, parang ganun. Isa sa mga later films. Yung setting din niya is in an isolated island community eh. Pero parang iba yung treatment niya. Pero makikita mo din na it's a nondescript, that it can also reflect parang Filipino society. Parang nagkaroon, nung pinanood ko tong Signal Rock, parang freshly having watched that film, parang nakita ko din yung parallels between the two films.
And Daria Ramirez.
And Daria Ramirez appears in both films. So, any more thoughts about Signal Rock? Maganda.
Panoorin siya.
Paronin niyo siya, Jim, paronin mo.
Panoorin ko siya.
It's quality is far above.
Everything.
Yung about sa Finland,
Yes,
hindi ko
Finland.
lang kung kinoconnect ba nila dahil sa Nokia yung phone nila or tapos
Pwede, no?
ano ko sa Middle East dahil yung pangalan nung
Isman.
Isman.
I thought
He works in the embassy. Parang embassy worker siya or something. Diba?
Akala ko rin
Connecting people.
Connecting people. Daming layers. Ganun eh.
At ang
That's Roddy Vera.
tibay nung pangkayod ng yelo na yun. Yung cellphone, yung 5110.
Uy, oo
May
nga.
tinidor.
Alam mo, Phil, yung mga lumang Nokia yan,
Yan nga
titibay.
yung binato niya, diba?
Dalawang pilaso lang. Kung sa atin yun, basag na yung phones natin. So, guys, any more? Do you want to move on to the next film?
Yeah, let's move on.
Next film is what?
Let's do Bakwit Boy.
Vacuit Boys.
Bakit boy.
Alam mo, nung film ko lang nalaman ko ano ibig sabihin ng Bakwit sa Bakwit Boys. Sorry po. So, Bakwit Boys, the second film in this festival by Jason Paul Laksamana. It's about 4 brothers who live with their grandpa in, I guess, Pampanga. Diba? After their home in Isabela. I think it was in Isabela.
Isabela, yeah.
Ibilakan.
Yeah. After their home in Isabela was ravaged by a typhoon. And they are one day while they're performing in a parang barrio
Fiesta.
ganun.
Not the brand, but
Yeah, the 4 brothers, or at least the 3 brothers, are discovered by this young girl, Devon Serran, played by Devon Serran. And she parang recruits them to, make a recording, so that in the hopes that they can make it big. So, who has seen Bakwit Boys? DJ, Tristan, Elora, have you seen it? Yeah. Jim, you've seen it? Paul, have you? No. So, okay. So, Buckwheat Boys, who wants to talk first?
Ako muna. I'm gonna
Sige, Tristan.
do the first blow. So parang feeling ko, ito yung equivalent natin ng The Greatest Showman.
Okay.
Better naman siguro ng The Greatest Showman. Pero ito yung spectacle and it makes you feel warm and fuzzy and
Yeah, it's a
enjoy.
very nice one.
It will make you bop your head to the beat. Then afterwards, parang isipin mo, parang mali yata yung mali yata yung message ng pelikulang to.
DJ?
Do you wanna delve into the message or sige?
Sige, mamaya. DJ.
Teka, pag-isipan ko ulit.
Sige, Jim?
Buckwheat Boys. Syempre, outstanding na si Vance Larena.
Yes.
Na actor. Kasi nung...
Team ano nga bang character niya? Team Elias.
Yeah.
Heart. Ganun. Responsableng panganay, ha?
Please guess.
Makakarating kung gusto nyo i-guess.
Ay, sige, yay. Tapos kakanta kami nun. Biglang naging musical.
Kasi nung Bar Boys pa lang, napanood ko siya sa
Yeah.
Bar Boys, di ba? Ang galing nga. And then...
Boys trilogy pala ito.
His second voice film.
Oo, diba? Tapos even may cameo siya in Ang Dalawang Mrs. Reyes,
Yeah.
even Liway.
Boys.
Hala, o nga, no?
Sinimalaya.
Vance Larena, fuckboys.
Lapit na yung casting.
Oh, nako, paano na natin siya? Audition na natin. Ayan, sige, Jim.
Tapos surprisingly, nagalingan ako kay Devon Seron.
Yeah, magaling siya. Actually, yeah.
Sa mainstream, hindi ko siya, I'm sorry forgive me, pero hindi ko siya napapansin. Pero dito, siya, kumbaga na-flesh out yung, niya, yung acting niya dito. Ganun.
Yeah,
Jim, our views in the show do not represent
Sorry.
the opinions of
Opinions of host,
employers.
do not reflect there. So, yun nga, Buckwheat Boys, it's a fun film.
Yes.
Masaya siya. It's a nice musical. Galing ni Vance Larena. Devon Seron, I've seen her since, ang dami niya, meron siyang medyo iffy na pelikula last year.
Rom-com mo yan.
yung kasama niyong Korean.
Yung Korean rom-com.
Yung Korean rom-com.
Ginawa mo yun.
Yeah, hindi ko masyado nagustuhan yun. Pero, I like her as an actress, actually. Tapos, ang galing niyang kumanta dito.
Yeah.
Actually, all of the songs in this film, I really appreciated. Na-wish ko sana, mas imaginative yung treatment nila dun sa songs.
Yeah.
Parang kasi, most of the musical sequences here are yung parang someone's playing an instrument and somebody's watching. Ganun lang. May isang scene dyan na yung isang character si Philip, he's listening to the music and he's imagining na may band na kasama si Devon
Yun
Seron.
lang yung nag-iba.
Sana may ganun pa with the rest of the sequences kasi parang doon sa ibang sequences na may music, pwede kang pumikit na lang. Tapos, 'di ba? Pakinggan mo na lang yung magandang music. Pero sorry. The opinions of Third World Cinema Club
Do not necessarily reflect.
the opinions of the other guests. The joke. Pero yun nga. Tapos I share yung sentiment ni Tristan na yun nga, there's a line near the end of this film kay Alma Concepcion.
That line is only representative, pero
Yeah.
the resolution of the film really banks on that.
Statement
ideology.
on that ideology that the ends justify the means. Diba? That sometimes people have to take shortcuts to achieve
Yeah.
what they want to achieve.
And parang part of me thinks, so should we be okay with it? Kasi we see na this Buckwheat Boys,
nag-prosper sila
they
with
prospered. So is it okay na their interests are put above those disenfranchised by the...
Yes, yun nga eh. I parang for myself, ni-resolve ko na lang siya na it applies to this one particular situation, pero it does not apply to all of the situations.
Parang siyang ito yung movie na how can something so right feel so
wrong. Kasi otherwise, alam mo, gusto ko nga naman talaga ang Buckwheat.
Parang nag-enjoy rin ako. Pero
enjoy
afterwards,
ako.
parang
Fairness, ako din.
That when enjoy ko
yung Buckwheat.
Diba? Yun. I appreciate din na it's a very, very pleasant film to watch. Pwede mo siyang ulit-ulitin. Very crowd-pleasing film. Very, very nga, yung message niya, something that I don't fully agree with.
Yung pala yung sasabihin ko tungkol dito na for Jason Pollack sa Mana film, sobrang na-enjoy ko siya.
May caveat eh. Grabe.
Hindi ko sinasabi na pangit yung mga pelikula. Actually, maganda. Pero, alam mo yun, parang nangunguna yung sinasabi niya about society.
Yes, that's true.
Saka na lang susunod yung sentimental content ng films niya. So, hindi mo siya ma-enjoy, pero maganda siya. Pero ito yung maganda siya, tapos saka mo lang pag-iisipan yun.
After na lang. Saka na lang yun.
Ito lang dark turn. I mean,
Wala siyang dark turn near the end of the film. Kasi most of his films.
Kasi may dark. I mean, dark. Pero
Dark-ish?
hindi yung ano, like violent turn.
Yeah, it also talks about yung yung responsibility of yung privileged people. Yung how do they, parang kung saan nanggaling yung privilege mo, you can use it to affect change for those na underserved, underprivileged. Hindi naman fully ganun. Pero yun nga. How can you use your influence or your power na minsan you're born into it. You have no choice eh. Kagaya yung character ni Devon Seron. Yung tatay niya yung may ano. So, spoiler, sorry. So yun, parang how do you use it responsibly?
Yeah.
How do you use power responsibly? Then yung nakuha ko from the film.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Ayun nga, Spider-Man.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yung bakwit ba dito because dahil kapampangan nga si Jason Paul is evacuation because of Pinatubo?
No.
From Isabela.
Typhoon.
From Isabela sila.
Isabela.
May typhoon na nag-ravage sa kanilang home.
Lolo nila yung taga Pampanga.
Yes, lolo nila yung
Doon sila
Doon sila nag-bakwit.
Yes. Yung yung parents nila are still in Isabela.
Okay. Kasi kung, ewan ko because I didn't see the film, nasasayangan ako doon sa gamit ng bakwit. All along akala ko bakwit ito from the south. Na lumad ang
Lumad community. O sa nga, pwede nga, no?
kasi akala ko talaga
Would be interesting, no? Having a lumad, no?
Pwede mo Badjo? Badjo or musically, meron silang
musical, si Maka Astri. Si Astri Maka sa Tambola.
Nagawa tayo script mamaya about
Third World Cinema Club first film.
Di ba ang Virgin Love ay nagkaroon ng isa din ngayon?
Virgin Love Fest?
Bakwit musical ba? Or
No,
something?
that's Marawi, the musical.
Marawi the musical, yan.
Ayun.
Yun talaga, it's also a feel-good musical. Sige. It's a feel-good musical, pero yun nga, Marawi yung
Marawi
topic. Ayan. Elora, do you have any thoughts to share about Bakwit Boys? Yay, good. Okay, so I think this is our last film.
yeah, on life.
Only Life by Miko Livelo.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it as well.
Who's seen? So tayong dalawa lang, DJ.
Sorry, kuya.
Elora, have you seen Only Life? No. So kaming dalawa na lang ni DJ. So Only Life is about Bene, played by Vong Navarro. He's a guy with he has a relationship with Winwin Marquez. And Winwin Marquez breaks up with Vong Navarro's character. And in his despair, ganon, Vong Navarro comes across a mysterious bar.
Turning Point.
Ganon. And the bartender, played by Joey Marquez, he offers Vong's character a drink called whiskey. So if you
Very Miko Livelo.
very Miko Livelo, yes. So if you drink whiskey, you will get transported into a different time. So Vong's character uses the whiskey to transport himself into different eras. So yun. DJ, what do you think of Only Life? Tayong dalawa lang eh.
Ako na. Masaya. Very funny naman siya. Gusto ko yung humor na hindi lang siya, well, syempre hindi nga lang siya slapstick, may visual, may situational. Pero the story itself, parang doon ako nakulangan siguro. Parang parang alam mo na siya kung ano yung mangyayari ganun. Yeah,
Only Life, it feels parang, if you've watched these films, parang Airplane, yung Zuckerberg, Abraham Zucker, yun. Yung films na yun, and Quantum Leap. Kung napanood nyo na yung Quantum Leap? Hindi ba? Airplane lang.
Airplane.
Pero yun nga, parang pinaghalong dalawang yun. The character travels through different eras. Parang the different eras become different skits.
Time travelers.
Comedic skits that show Vong trying to get the girl who is also played by Winwin Marquez, and results are varied. It's also it's also a tribute to Filipino comedy. So nandun yung physical gags mo, you have parody, you have some physical comedy, not a lot. So, and there's a sequence in the middle that's a tribute to Dolphy, one of yung pinaka-prominent nating komedyante. And parang surprisingly it's very
Heartwarming, endearing, yeah.
It's very endearing / emotionally affecting. Parang ganon. It's a very interesting tas Adolphy's character is played by Epi Kison. Tas parang he looks just like his father. Way back when nung bata pa si Dolphy. It's a great sequence. And then there's also a sequence there na si Win-Win and si Vong, they're traveling through different areas. It's just one shot. Tas parang may mga backgrounds na tumatalon, mga cardboard backgrounds.
Yun yung best scene doon.
Yeah, it's
montage.
I think it's the best scene in that film eh. And hindi lang siya puro katatawanan. It also has a message about parang inspirational message nga eh. Parang you may not there are some things that you may not be able to change that easily, but you can change the here and now. Parang you can change what's happening right now.
Ang feeling ko kasi I've been seeing polarized reactions to this. So I think it just boils down to your appreciation of the humor.
Yes. I acknowledge na not all of us, all the audiences that watch Only Life will appreciate the comedy in the film. Baka makornihan sila. Pero ako, natutuwa ako sa mga ganito, yung ini-effortan na comedy. Kaya ako siya na-appreciate more than usual.
As I said before, yung story niya, akala ko yung premise kasi niya is just going back to a previous time, pero yung malapit lang. Hindi ko alam na
akala ko parang throwback today-ish na...
Hindi, actually, the right moment yung iniisip
Ayun
ko.
din, yeah.
By the Idea First Company.
Hashtag Idea First.
Pero, in terms of story or at least yung message or content niya, mas gusto ko yung sa the right moment. Parang, I think that was more profound in way.
Yes, may mas mabigat nga rin yung message ng the right moment eh. Although, yeah, I had my problems with that film. Pero yun nga, I also like yung way na in-approach niya yung situation. What did you think, DJ, about Vong Navarro as a comedic actor?
Actually, hindi ko masyado napapanood si Vong Navarro. Pero okay naman siya sa akin.
Ako din, okay lang. I've seen him in some nice comedies. Yung kay last year, kay Joel Ferrer. Yung
Woke Up Like This.
I woke up like this. And then I saw him in like Mang Kepueng. So, the opinions of... So, ayun.
Minsan corny. Lalo na yung
corny.
yung pag binabago niya yung boses niya. Yung mga
No, it's hit or miss. But mostly, for me, it's mostly hit.
Ito Hogan with adding real world context. Given the Me Too movement, ano masabi niyo sa kay Vong and his
I don't know the opinions in there. Alam mo, I don't know. I hope Vong the person kung may ginawa talaga siyang mali, I hope it owns up to what he did. It's hard talagang minsan it's hard to separate the art from the artist eh. So I guess it's up to one's personal na lang. The movie itself, like This Only Life, I appreciated it. Pero yun nga, yung Vong Navarro's appearance in this film did not impact it as most. Although I know he as a person medyo problematic yung past niya. I don't know. Sana nagbago na siya, ganun.
So it is again a case of one problem at a time.
Yeah, one problem. The opinions of do not. So, any last thoughts about Only Life before we wrap up? No. It's
Magulat kayo sino yung creative consultant.
sino?
Chito Ronyo.
Oh yeah, right. Chito Ronyo was the creative consultant for Only Life. That's true.
Kasi Street Boys yun siya, di ba? Vong
Oo,
Navarro.
alaga niya.
Even si Joe Hilario.
Nagustuhan ko din yung Jong Hilario cameo-ish dito sa pelikulang to. Parang,
Interesting.
sana sumayaw sila together. Pero sila na lang ba yung
Active.
Yung
Street
active.
Boys, kasi naalala ko sila sa The Anothers, di ba?
bigla silang gumanon eh.
Meron pa bang active roster ang Street Boys?
Ewan ko.
Pero yung nagtuloy talaga sa acting yan, dalawa.
Yung dalawang yun.
Si Danilo Barrios.
wala na ba?
Siguro in 1-2 decades, hashtags naman yung ano. Sino na lang may active na hashtag?
Si Jameson.
Si Jameson.
Wait, may maneuvers pa.
Oh, may maneuvers pa nga pala. Diba?
UDM.
Wowie.
So, let's wrap this up. Elora has to go. Do you have anything to say before you leave us?
Hindi, siguro with connection sa PPP, kung hindi nyo nahabol, meron pang Cine Local. It's still ongoing.
Yeah.
So, catch the films there.
Yeah, SM Cinemas, right?
Yes. At saka, meron ding mga special features na pinapalabas sa Micro Cinemas, especially Cinema Centenario.
Okay.
So, Hypothalamus, Balangiga is will be showing siguro September. Ano pa ba? Yun lang.
Hey, John here from Third World Cinema Club. Thank you for listening to the first part. And thank you to Elora Españo for taking her time to meet with us and join our podcast. Part 2 with the special features will be uploaded to the site soon. So we'll watch out for that one.
To be continued.